A professor of international relations at the Centre for Global Affairs at New York University. Very good evening to you, sir. Thanks for being with us. With tensions escalating between Israel and the Palestinians, can we count, do you think, on the Quartet to really help relieve the atmosphere?
Well, you know, I feel that eventually the Quartet, of course, will come up with some kind of statement in support of the resumption of the proximity talks. But the truth of the matter is that I do not believe that it's going to be rather effective, because Israel has some serious reservation about the role of the Quartet. The Quartet as such has not been effective since it was created in 2003. And there are a number of reasons for that. To begin with, Israel does not have much trust for the United Nations. It has serious concern about Russia's role in continuing to support Iran nuclear various programs. In fact, the Israelis have some evidence, I understand, that some Russian scientists even helping Iran in developing the nuclear weapons. So there's a great concern there. Israel is also concerned about the EU, which has traditionally been supportive of the Palestinians. And so Israel then has a reservation about it. The second thing is that the Quartet also has excluded a very important part of the Palestinian body politic, which is the Hamas, from the negotiating process, because of the Quartet demands on Hamas, namely to recognize Israel first, to stop terrorism, to stop violence, and to accept prior agreements. I think whereas ending terrorist activities and stopping violence is legitimate, the others are very difficult for Hamas to accept, so you have a problem there. And finally, I think the Quartet hasn't shown much progress in the past. While the Arab Initiative has been ignored, I think the Quartet will be wise now to adopt the Arab Initiative as the frame of reference, and in so doing also engender tremendous support from the Arab states. And I think this is where we should be going. The Arab Initiative ought to be given some resuscitation and give it new life. And I think in conjunction with that, the Quartet may be able to achieve quite a bit more.
Doctor, what can we read into that announcement just last week of 1,600 more homes in East Jerusalem? That announcement made, I think it was the timing maybe that went down so badly during Joe Biden's visit. It was seen as a slap in the face by many in the US. Many people this week saying relations at their worst for 35 years. How does Israel regard Washington at the moment? And is it a sign that Washington's influence maybe is waning?
Well, you know, the problem here is that there's no question the timing was terrible, to say the least. But the question is not really, it transcends the question of timing. And that is a more fundamental issue here. What is going to be the future of Jerusalem? And when the United States demands certain things from Israel at this particular juncture, it is often taken out of context. There is no question, and also there is a problem within the Israeli government itself. It is a coalition government. Members of the various parties do not see eye to eye on various issues. But the fact is that one minister actually makes such an announcement without the knowledge of the prime minister when the vice president is in Israel. It's a terrible slap in the face. There's no question about it. Yes, Prime Minister Netanyahu did apologize, but then again, this has to go way beyond that. The United States ought to have a very serious direct, and I repeat the word direct talk. Perhaps my feeling was it was way overdue for President Obama himself to sit down with Netanyahu and figure out what are we going to do. Are you prepared to move toward peace, and what are you prepared to do in that regard? The Israelis feel slighted by the fact that the president has not visited Israel, has not addressed the Israeli public, and they are quite concerned. Can Israel in fact continue to rely on unequivocal American support? These are lingering issues. I've been here in Israel now for a week, and I'm hearing this from various Israeli quarters.
Doctor, what about Russia? Russia's on good terms with all sides. So is Russia the one to hold a diplomatic key to some kind of solution here, do you think?
I think you have to know one thing. Israel is greatly, and I repeat the word, greatly concerned with Iran's nuclear program. And in this regard in particular, I think Russia can and should probably do quite a bit more. And if we are to alleviate Israeli concern about the potential Iran of acquiring a nuclear weapon, this can go a long way. I agree, however, I disagree with the Israelis, for example, that Iran has to come first before resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I think Israel should move quickly toward a resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It should also move toward a resolution of the Israeli-Syrian conflict and removing Syria from Iran's belly, and in so doing weakening Hezbollah and as well as weakening Hamas. But Israel is not doing that, and it's quite unfortunate. But Russia can play a greater role, and perhaps it should.
Okay, well, Dr. Alon Ben-Meir, pleasure to have you on the programme tonight. Professor, as you are, of International Relations at the Centre for Global Affairs at New York University.